Hi, this is your host. Today, we're going to talk about hormones that control weight. If you've been struggling with your weight, or if you are just curious what hormones influence weight, then this is the video for you. We will also go over how food, stress, and exercise influence these hormones. So, by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to manage your weight by balancing your hormones. One of the main hormones that controls weight is insulin. Insulin is a hormone made by beta cells in the pancreas. It helps move sugar from the blood into your cells to be used for energy. This is why one of the main symptoms of diabetes is high blood sugars because the body can't use the sugar effectively due to problems with insulin. But how does insulin work, and how does it control weight? To understand how insulin works, we need to look at it from its discovery. In the early 1900s, two scientists were studying the effects of removing parts of the pancreas in dogs. They noticed that when they removed the whole pancreas, the dogs would die quickly from what they called a disease of the sugar of the blood. But when they removed only parts of the pancreas, the dogs would survive but would become diabetic. This led to the discovery that the pancreas makes something called insulin, which regulates sugar in the blood. In order for insulin to work properly, our cells need insulin receptors. These receptors are like little antennas sticking out of our cells waiting for insulin to attach to them. When insulin attaches to these receptors, it opens up the cell doors to allow sugar to enter the cell. This means that when we eat carbohydrates, insulin is released from the pancreas and then it helps push that sugar into the cells to be used for energy. But there are two problems with insulin. First is that too much sugar in the blood can cause big fluctuations in insulin levels, which can be harmful to the body. For example, people with diabetes have chronically high blood sugars, which causes chronically high insulin levels. Over time, this leads to complications from diabetes, like nerve damage, kidney disease, eye disease, and even heart disease. The second problem is when the insulin receptors are not sensitive to insulin. This happens in a condition called insulin resistance. With insulin resistance, the doors on the cells don't open when insulin attaches. So the sugar stays in the blood and insulin levels rise. But this constant high insulin level causes fat to be stored all over the body, especially in the liver, and this leads to fatty liver disease, high triglycerides, and high cholesterol. Over time, having high insulin levels can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. So how do we keep our insulin levels normal? The first way is to watch our carbohydrate intake. Carbohydrates turn into sugar in the blood, so eating too many carbs can lead to chronically high insulin levels. The second way is to lower inflammation in the body. Inflammation can make our insulin receptors less sensitive to insulin, and this leads to insulin resistance. And the third way is to increase the number of insulin receptors on our cells. Exercise is the best way to do this. By exercising, we use up the sugar in the blood, which lowers insulin levels. We also increase the number of insulin receptors on our cells, which makes our cells more sensitive to insulin. The next hormone that influences weight is cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone made by the adrenal glands. It helps regulate sleep, metabolism, and immune function. One of the ways that cortisol influences metabolism is by regulating the amount of sugar in the blood. When we are stressed, cortisol works with another hormone called glucagon to break down stored sugar in the liver and release it into the blood. This is why, when we are stressed, we feel hungry and crave sugary foods. If we are constantly stressed, this can lead to high blood sugars and high insulin levels. This can lead to fat being stored around the belly, which can cause weight gain. Another way that cortisol influences weight is by influencing how we store fat. When we are stressed, cortisol can activate a gene that turns white fat cells into brown fat cells. Brown fat cells are specialized for burning fat, so this actually helps us lose weight. However, if we are constantly stressed, this can lead to an increase in the number of brown fat cells, which can lead to more fat being stored. And finally, cortisol influences weight by influencing our appetite. When we are stressed, Cortisol can stimulate the hunger hormone ghrelin and suppress the satiety hormone leptin. This leads to increased hunger and decreased fullness, which can lead to overeating and weight gain. So how do we balance our cortisol levels? The first way is to reduce stress. Stress can be caused by many things, such as work, relationships, or finances. It's important to find healthy ways to manage stress, such as exercise, yoga, or meditation. The second way is to get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can lead to high cortisol levels, so it's important to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. And the third way is to eat a balanced diet. A balanced diet will help stabilize blood sugars, which will help lower cortisol levels. The next hormone that influences weight is thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone is made by the thyroid gland in the neck. It helps regulate metabolism, growth, and development. Thyroid hormone is made from iodine and the amino acid tyrosine. When we don't have enough iodine, we can't make enough thyroid hormone. This can lead to hypothyroidism, which can cause weight gain. Hypothyroidism happens when the thyroid gland doesn't make enough hormone. It can be caused by a problem with the pituitary gland or the hypothalamus, which are two other glands that help control the thyroid gland. It can also be caused by an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. With Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the immune system attacks the thyroid gland, which can cause hypothyroidism. The symptoms of hypothyroidism include fatigue, weight gain, dry skin, cold intolerance, and depression. The treatment for hypothyroidism is to take a synthetic version of thyroid hormone called levothyroxine. Levothyroxine is a synthetic version of T4, which is one of the thyroid hormones. Another condition that can cause weight gain is hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism happens when the thyroid gland makes too much hormone. It can be caused by an autoimmune condition called Graves' disease. With Graves' disease, the immune system stimulates the thyroid gland to make too much hormone. The symptoms of hyperthyroidism include weight loss, fast heartbeat, sweating, and anxiety. The treatment for hyperthyroidism depends on the cause of the condition. If it's caused by Graves' disease, then radioactive iodine therapy or antithyroid medications can be used. In addition to thyroid hormone, there are also other hormones that influence weight. These include estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and aldosterone. It's important to see your healthcare provider if you think that your hormones may be causing weight gain. They can perform blood tests to check your hormone levels and help you make any necessary lifestyle changes. As you can see, hormones play a major role in weight management. It's important to balance your hormones in order to maintain a healthy weight. You can do this by eating a balanced diet, reducing stress, and exercising regularly. If you have any concerns about your hormonal health, please see your healthcare provider. They can help you develop a plan to balance your hormones and achieve your weight loss goals. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you learned something new. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I will see you next time.